Now just looking at this path, I'm thinking that the sand comes way too far up the path. So I just want to do something about that. So I'm just going to click on the island, go back to paint texture, and I want to select the actual path itself. Let me just check what I've got. Opacity, I'll just come a little bit further up. Let's just paint some of this out. Okay. In fact, let me just come down in the opacity a bit. Okay, and then I'm just really going to lower the opacity now down to about 1.5 should be okay. Just lower my brush size down a little bit, and I can start to blend these in a little bit more. Okay, so notice it now looks like that sand is sort of you know, coming out onto that path. Still got a few little bits of sand left over with the grass there, so let's just do something about that. Better. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine. What I also want to do is put a fence around this building. Okay, so we actually have a fence. Let's just go into our main prefabs. ST fences it's called. So if we just drag this out, you'll notice that we've got multiple parts. We've got actual fence piece, and then we've got these modular pieces. Okay, so what we actually want is just one of these modular pieces. So I'll just right click on the fence up here, choose prefab and unpack completely, and then if I click on one of these fence pieces, that's the one that I need, ST fence 2. So I'll click and drag down to the bottom. I'll just click on the rest of the ST fences and press delete. Okay, so that we just got this one. And then I want to bring this one in as a prefab in case if I need it again in the future. Okay, there we go. So now I can lay this out to begin with. So what I'm thinking is maybe a bit of a fence up here somewhere. So I'm just going to move this over maybe to about this side. Rotate it around. And bring it down so it's actually roughly in the ground like this. In fact, I might need to bring this across actually and then bring it up. There we go. Okay, so now I just simply want to duplicate this and then bring it forward. Now I should be able to just snap the vertices. Okay, so as long as I'm in Move Tool, I'm just going to hold V. And let's find maybe which vertex can I use. Something like this, maybe. Let's have a look. Make sure it's roughly about the same angle. I'm just going to press F so that I can get closer. So I can see that it's off there, so that needs to be exactly the same angle there. Okay. Might just push that back just a little bit. Okay, now I want to take both of those fences, Control and D. Okay, and just move this forward again. it should be in the correct lineup, so it's just a case of just getting those closer together so that they match up. Now we've got ourselves a bit of a fence going on there. Okay, and then obviously we're going to need a few more, so let's just click on all these, Control and D, and then I can drag all of these along. Once again, just get that lined up. Alright, it's looking okay. Now obviously it's gone a little bit beyond where I want it to go to, so let me just find the end one. I'm just going to delete that one. So what I need now is effectively just one of these posts. So once again I need to drag in the ST fences. Okay, and I'll right click, prefab, unpack completely, take one of these little posts, just make sure it's roughly about the same angle, and then I can just finish that one off there. Okay, so if I drag this one down, get rid of the ST fences now, and then I can set the ST pillar as a child of that last piece there. Okay, and now we've got ourselves a nice little fence going on. Now potentially I can take all of that, do a Control and D, and I can put another one further over here. This time, however, I do want to kind of rotate this. And bring it over this side like this. So that it's kind of cordoning off this building. Now, if I want, for example, the fence to go in a different direction, first of all, I can just take this one, just drag it out. I might need that later, so just bring it up here somewhere. Take one of these pieces, the last piece, Control and D, and I'm just going to rotate this around and then drag it into position. Okay, so it's just a matter of lining these up. Okay, that should be fine, and then once again it's just Control and D, and then just move this forward. Control and D, move it forward again. Okay, and then this is going to come all the way around the back here, so let's take all three of those, Control and D. Move those forward. Then I might take another three, so Control and D, move these forward. And then I might take another three, Control and D, move these forward. And then I want it to go back around that way again. So I'll just take the very final one, which I think is, number 23. Control and D, and then once again I'm just going to rotate this around. And let's get this lined up. Something like this should be fine. Okay, and then once again Control and D. Let's just drag that one forward. Take both of those now, Control and D, and then drag those forward. Great, and then I can take all four of those, Control and D, and then drag those forward. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And then I want to use that final post that I had over here. So let's just drag it over to here. I'm going to press F on the keyboard to get closer to it. Bring this up here. Just rotate it around so that it straightens up. Okay, and there we go. Alright, and so now we've got ourselves a fence going all the way around that building. Alright, it just makes it look a little bit nicer. Alright, like we've got a lot of detail going on there. However, once again, we do need to put these fences into their own sub-object. So let's go to game object, create empty, call this fences. It's just a case of then taking, I'll take this ST pillar, attach it to the very last one, and I'll just take all of these fences, just place them in there, and then that can easily be closed down. Alright, let's just make sure that we save that. We can also bring in some flowers as well, like these ones over here. So if I just click on this one, Control and D to duplicate, and let's just bring this across here. Okay, so we've got a little bit of material. Press F, just make sure it's looking okay. Yep, it's fine. Once again, Control and D. Let's put a couple over here in the actual garden area. Control and D again. Let's put one over here. Might be nice to have one over here, so Control and D. We could also do with a little bit more grass, so let's go and find our grass. Make sure that they are actually in the ground. Okay, yep, that's great. Now we've obviously got this side as well, so once again we could do with more of these. Control and D. Control and D, and you can obviously also rotate these around as well, just to make them look a little bit different to the others, although it is kind of a almost like a circular pattern, so I'm not sure that that's going to do much good. Put one over here somewhere. Okay, and then once again a little bit more grass. Wow, some of these are floating. Okay, and then let's put maybe a little bit of grass over here, a little bit of grass in front of these, near the fence. Let's just make sure that these are in the ground. Yeah, that was from before, wasn't it? Okay, good. And then we could probably do with just some little rocks as well. So if I go into Stylized Rocks Magic, although we've got the LODs, these are actually relatively low triangles anyway. You know, they're not taking up a huge amount of polygons. So I'm going to use this one, I believe. Yep. Style Rocks Magic 5 LOD 0, so it's the highest quality. I'm just going to use this one. It's already pretty small anyway. Just going to use this one and not bother with the LOD system. Okay, so put this one over here like this. Maybe put one up here as well. Control and D. I'm just going to rotate this one around. Might even make this one slightly bigger. So it just gives it a little bit of detail, effectively. Yep, okay, I think that's fine. Eventually I might want to put something there that prevents the player from being able to walk off the edge and into the actual water, into the ocean. What I might also want is just some general buildings that you can't enter but are just there, so it looks quite nice. So let's go into our medieval house, prefab and external only. Okay, and I might choose house small. Okay, just bring one of these over this side and just rotate it around. I might have another one, house small again, just over this side like this, and just have it rotated so it's kind of pointing over that side a little bit. Alright, makes it look kind of interesting. I believe that they should already be on the ground. Okay, this also means that now with this path I can then take this path and kind of draw it so that it goes further up here. Maybe we could also have like a little bit of an open area here. So what I might have is from the main prefabs, I believe that we've got a well in here. So let's have a look. Yep, wells. So I can bring this nice little well. Okay, if anybody wants some water, they can get it from the well. We've also got a nice little tree stump as well. So let's see where we could put this tree stump. Actually, I might leave the tree stump till later. We'll find somewhere to put it. This large rock we could also do with another one just over here. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate that one. Control and D. And then just move this one across. Kind of blocking off this area, if you like. I'm going to have this going down into the water. Alright. So this is like an outcrop area that you can't go beyond. And it just makes it look a little bit more interesting. Okay, excellent. So if you just want to make sure that you're putting these items into their own subcategories and keeping similar items in the same kind of order so that they're right next to each other.